say recommend a track.
And if you also missed the sweary tune from Paris earlier, I'm presuming that will be on the Listen Again feature in its full profanity. No, we've got to keep it real. Integrity is all about integrity.
You'll just have us apologising for it, but you won't actually have what we're apologising.
Oh, really?
For.
That's a nightmare. Hey, listen, hopefully there'll be someone out there who can hack into it and make it even more profane than it was.
If you weren't listening to Sean Keith.
Debut single, of course, from Susie and the Banshees, released way back when in 1978, and Hong Kong Garden. Steve Show 6 Music with me, Steve Merchant, and my little gang here. Harry, you wanted to flag something up?
Yeah, well, it just got me thinking, Steve. Obviously, Clive was keeping it real with their Disposable Heroes of Hiphoprisy. I was keeping it real today with Titus Andronicus. We just heard the trail there for Sean Keaveney, keeping it real with the Drifters.
New music.
But sometimes you have to forgo what you'd actually want to be playing. I've spent some time over the last few days at home with my parents,
sure,
which is always a joy. But you go into a whole different sort of world. You don't listen to the same things, you don't see the same things. I've been watching a lot of Home and Away.
Sure,
and
Casualty.
I was listening today to Sunday Love Songs with Lulu filling in for Steve. Yeah, she didn't do a bad job.
I'm sure she didn't. She's an excellent broadcaster.
But in the past, when I've been at home with my parents, I've tried to impose my tastes on them, and I didn't this time, and it was quite cosy, it worked quite well. But yes, sometimes you just have to give up what you like. You have to compromise.
You just have to. Do you embrace those things though when you're sat there, perhaps watching Casualty, trying to guess which of the few people at the beginning is going to impale themselves on a spike? Yeah. Do you embrace that? Do you enjoy that, or is it a bit of a chore? Have you got to sit there for an hour thinking, oh?
It's a little bit of a chore. Once the impaling has happened, really, there's not a lot left for me.
Sure.
So I'll maybe flick to a newspaper.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. I can't give it my full attention.
Because obviously back at Shea Sammy, it's all different. I mean, it's weird there. It's like
it's a constant circus.
It's sort of in my head. It's some strange. It's like a cult.
Yeah.
In my head, it's like. It's not unlike the Manson family, aside from the murder, the murder aspect of the Manson family, there is the kind of bearded central figure, sort of magnetic and intriguing. The disciples, chiefly women, around him. He's got very particular views on the world, which he's imparting on his more impressionable minds. He has an axe.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, the comparisons are actually unnerving.
I thought it was insulting when you first said it, but now you've drawn those comparisons.
You can't argue with me.
Can't argue with that at all.
Hey, talking of compromising your integrity, I remember once I first moved to London. I was working at the BBC, and you may recall that I worked for another rival radio station for a brief period, and I used to host a radio show with a long-term friend and partner, RG. And while I was with the BBC, I stopped doing the show, and Ricky used to be on in the afternoons, and he would sort of pop up on radio on the shows on this channel and just contribute little amusing whatnots. And so I was driving around, I was working for the BBC, and I was driving around with this woman who I was working with, and we had XFM on. Oh my god, I shouldn't have mentioned it. Other alternative radio stations are out there. They do exist, people, okay? If you're bored of 6 Music, they're out there. That's what happens. I'm sorry, but it goes on, alright? I'm sorry. And a lot of them you don't hear effing and blinding on. But anyway, so we had this. You couldn't get 6 Music on the stereo, and it wasn't available then. Anyway, so we're driving around, and we got this station on, and I said to this woman, oh yeah, my friend Ricky's on here. Later, he sort of pops up, and she's like, "Oh, great, yeah." And so a bit later, he comes on the show, and he's doing some stuff on this radio program, and she goes, "Bloody hell, this is not your mate, is it? God, this guy's awful. This is not your friend, is it?" And I went, "No, no, this isn't him. This is not him. No, he comes on later.
Must be ill.
Comes on later. I think I don't know who this bloke is. God, awful." Rubbish. And so I had to maintain this myth that it wasn't my friend. So every day we'd have the station on, and he'd come on again, and she'd go, "When's your friend on then?" And I'd go, "This is not him.
Still not him.
It's still this other plonker. Who's this bloke?" And shameless compromising of my integrity. I'll try and think of some more after the news. Back shortly.
On digital, BBC 6 Music.
Oh, listen, guys, I'm putting my name, my career, and the reputation of the BBC on the line.
If this goes wrong.
But I'm hoping this is the clean version. From 1994. from 1994. Oh, sorry, I was pressing the wrong buttons. It's all chaos here. I was just living on a knife edge the whole way through that song, wondering if there was going to be any effing and blinding, but there wasn't. Once again, Steve has salvaged the show. And, look, no, a lot of people are saying the buck should stop with him, and it does, as long as there's no mistakes. And we've got away with it. And, yeah, Paris, Gorilla Funk, one of the more political of the hip-hoppers from the G-Funk era, and still making tunes. Of course, also worked on the financial markets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's university trained, and he's quite the brainiac. And he was on his website. He used to offer financial advice for young sort of black families and stuff. Yeah, but now I think he does quite specific. You know, he's more of a sort of he tailors it specifically to friends and family now.
That's a shame.
But yeah, so he's quite the talent. Steve Show, Six Music with me, Steve Rich and the gang. Earlier we were asking for band names that you wanted tested in my inimitable style. Another tricky word there. And a couple of others that have come in. So yeah, the idea here is you've got a band, you want to see, will it work when you reach global status? You're at Wembley, and we have a crowd here of 2. They will replicate for you the sound of the Glastonbury crowd. If they don't like it, you will hear. And if they love it... Alright, so yeah, that's the test. Okay, so please welcome to the stage, Tribal Brides of the Amazon. Goodness me, that's one of the worst. That really was terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage. That's what the old man said, and he never came back. Oh, Harry's walked out. Harry's absolutely walked out. Please welcome to the stage, Soothing Halloumi. Yeah, that's won you back. And, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Missing Kids.
But that's going to confuse people, because
Okay.
they're just going to think that, people have lost their kids. These are the missing kids you've lost.
Sure, yeah.
Getting someone's hope up, and it's just a support act.
I always thought quite a good name for that test would be, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, My Uncle Bob.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just a bit strange.
Yeah, well, yeah, deal with it. Anyway, we have to get to the musical pigeonhole section. 3 new releases. You may have heard them elsewhere on Six Music. You may have heard them on other stations. This is the first time you'll have heard them on this show, and we'll give you our verdict. First up, Little Jackie, and this tune already getting quite a lot of airplay on the music channels and stuff. See if you think it's going to be a hit, Harry, Sammy. Listen as we hear "The World Should Revolve Around Me." So Little Jackie releases that tune August 11th. It's called "The World Should Revolve Around Me." Little Jackie coming out of New York City. Harry, you've just come out of New York City last week. You were on holiday there. What do you make of Little Jackie? Would it brighten up your summer?
Yeah, briefly. And then I'd get quite annoyed with it. Is Little Jackie just a person?
Well, it's difficult to... It seems here you get Little Jackie, the creation of singer-songwriter Imani Coppola and multi-instrumentalist Adam Palin.
Because it was the production that saved that, really. It was quite a good big sound, wasn't it? I think the song was pretty weak, but it sounded nice. It sounded nice and bouncy.
It's from the album The Stoop, and the iconography of the pop video is very much, a typical sort of New York street scene, I think it's probably got kids probably running through one of those, water hydrant spray things. You seem to get these every summer, don't they? Sort of pop up onto your summer playlist?
I can't think of anything that would make its way onto my playlist any less than that song. I
Really?
literally couldn't concentrate, and every time I did try and concentrate, I became mildly furious.
How could you be furious by
it's
something
quite
as something as quaint?
No, it's banal, and banal when you try and focus on it makes you really annoyed. I don't know, it's wound me up. I really didn't enjoy Little Jackie. I didn't enjoy her summery vibe. I do enjoy her cover.
Well, we shall see if the Ting Tings and the new single from them will win you back after this.
BBC Six Music.
Where's the Matt got that idea
Where's he getting his ideas
Where's
from?
he getting his ideas
New
from?
music and giving opinions.
Oh,
on
giving his
music.
opinions on new records. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's just step it up a gear, shall we? Let's get some music professionals in who actually know what they're talking about, as opposed to just a couple of people. Some bloke who works in a bank and some chick from up north. Or let's get someone from the Dandy Warhols, yeah? Impressed? I don't think so.
So shut up and let me go.
Released tomorrow, that's the Ting Tings, of course, and Shut Up and Let Me Go. Well, yeah, it's ubiquitous, but we've not yet given our opinion on either that or the Ting Tings. I remember we played one of the other singles some time ago. They've become, would you say, a phenomenon? Is that fair?
I wouldn't go that far.
No. I don't know why. The only reason I've mentioned the word phenomenon is because it says it on the back here of their CD. I've been easily persuaded by the promotional infrastructure of the Ting Tings record label. But yeah, of course, it's finding its way onto TV all the time because of the iTunes advert. Sammy, they, I guess, if they're going to appeal to anyone, will be appealing to people like you and your youth.
Possibly, yes. I didn't really love the first single, but I am getting quite into that one. Recently driving in the car, dancing to it at the same time as I was driving. So it's obviously a dangerous song. It can cause driving hazards, but I don't know if I should love it. I don't know if it's one of those things that it's actually not cool to like the Ting Tings, but I don't care. I'm going to state my claim. I love it, and I also love Katie Ting Ting's Fringe.
We've already talked about integrity and selling out, and the fact that it's already featuring on some Apple adverts. Problem for you?
Not really. If you think of Feist, Coldplay, there's some, good artists that featured. Yes, they may be.
I'm not saying they're not good artists. I'm saying that if indie integrity and cool is all about not giving in to the man, these guys appear to have given in to him big
They were
time.
constructed by the man, so I don't think we can judge them on that basis. They're bits of other bands that were put together by a man, the man, and now they are the Ting Tings. So I don't think we can judge them on that.
Harry, if there's one thing you hate, it's sucking the corporate sea. And
despite the fact that I work for a bank,
despite the fact you do that every day,
my entire life, yeah.
You don't just suck it. You take it out for lunch.
Oh,
you do everything, don't you?
We
You
go
are
dancing.
You're hanging out with the corporate sea all the time.
Absolutely.
Do you live with the corporate sea now?
We paint each other's faces.
Yeah, sure.
It's yeah, pretty much. The Ting Tings, they are horribly everywhere. Tried to watch some Glastonbury coverage. We weren't allowed to go. Could only see the Ting Tings. Tried to watch some Tea in the Park coverage. Just saw a load of Ting Tings. They're everywhere. We're not allowed to say that songs sound like other songs, but it does sound like Ian Jury. It's all right, isn't it? If something's going to have to be everywhere, then why not the Ting Tings?
Sure, but it ain't going to make it into your playlist.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. Jacob Dylan, son of Bob, has, of course, for some time been in a band and has sort of managed to avoid the criticism of being compared to his father because he's been hidden by the whole outfit. But now he's released a solo album and it's inevitably going to ask for comparisons with his dad. And here is a forthcoming single from Jacob Dylan, Something Good This Way Comes. Jacob Dylan, Something Good This Way Comes. Previously, of course, hidden behind his band The Wallflowers, and they've had a pretty successful career. But now he's come out on his own with his solo album, Seeing Things. Is it possible, Sammy, to listen to it and not think of his pop?
I don't think it is. I'm not entirely sure Something Good This Way came. I don't think I was sold on it. Regardless of his dad or not, obviously he's going to be in for harsher criticism, but it was just noise, wasn't it? It was ephemera, musical ephemera that was probably unnecessary.
Blimey, well, Harry's rolled his eyes at that.
I didn't roll my eyes, I just raised my eyebrows in shock. Because again, it was quite pretty, it was harmless enough. You can see him being this year's dinner party album quite easily. Talking about sucking the corporate sea, the album's out on Columbia and Starbucks Entertainment.
Ooh.
Do we approve of that? I'm not sure we do.
I quite like a beverage, so yeah, why not? Good luck to him.
Yeah, independent coffee shops are available.
That's true. But your take on it then? You can listen to it, and it doesn't concern you that he's Bob's son.
Not at all. But it will concern me that it will become massive. You will hear it everywhere, and people will think they're so great for loving him, and then I'll just get angry.
Sure. Listen, I appreciate all your views. Not as profound as the sort you'd get from Steve Lemack's Roundtable, but life's cruel. I'm going to squeeze in a bit of Herbie Hancock before we go. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in, and we'll be back, I imagine, next week, providing that the effing and blinding you heard earlier doesn't have us kicked off forever. Goodbye.